Yo, what is up, YouTube boxing family? It's K right here. Let's give props where props is due. Congratulations to Emmanuel Navarette defeating Liam Wilson in a very highly competitive fight. In his last night's battle down in Phoenix, Arizona, or Glendale, Arizona. In their competitive fight, Navarette got the 8th or ninth round TKO stoppage. Over Liam Wilson. This fight was really good, but I think the real question that a lot of people want to, talk about, did Navarrete deserve, this victory? Because people were saying that this victory was a little bit rigged in terms of him getting the long count by being knocked down in the 4th round, I believe, by Liam Wilson. And I would say that is a fair argument to say that Navarrete was given political protectionism. But on top of that, I do believe within that exchange, that was something as of which, Navarrete, he was obviously buzzed. And I think it was simply due to him not being prepared of being knocked down. And I think the biggest thing with Navarrete in that event was just simply due to the fact that he got knocked down and he didn't have his legs together. But on top of that, I think that was by natural mistake. I don't want to say that was politicized by any means necessary. I mean, if Navarrete, if he got absolutely cooked in that knockdown, that would have made a huge difference in that fight for Liam to press on him. But I think Liam's problem was that he didn't know how to close up the show. And I think he's very similar to Luke Campbell in a way where he claims to have all this good experience, but it's like, that doesn't make you like a world champion. And the problem with a lot of fighters is that a lot of you don't want to take risks. You guys don't want to, jump on a hurt fighter that shows a vulnerability for you to get the knockout. And the thing is that nobody's not talking about Liam's inability to close the show versus with Navarrete. Okay, he was hurt. You could say in speculation that he was trying to find ways to, have that quote unquote long count. But as far as the fight itself, if you know that this fighter's getting a long count and the fans aren't saying anything, about it, then you as fans have to speak up against it for people that really want to have justice being thrown, against Navarrete for the sake of him being knocked down and for him to be given some form of, political punishment. But I think the thing is just that people don't want to talk about that, and they just go off of this weird tangent to think that Liam Wilson, he had a chance of winning, which he did. Liam Wilson, he did his thing, but leading up to the 9th round or leading up to deep waters, Navarrete, he was pressing on him. And I think the good thing, about it was just that when Navarrete, when he got back up and he regained his bearings, he was already pressing on Wilson, and he was hurting him multiple times. And granted, Navarrete, he doesn't have the best defense in the world, but I think the fact that he does that is mainly to create his awkward shots. And I think if he had better defense, this fight definitely would have never gone, to 9 rounds. I think it would have definitely ended earlier. And you have to give credit to Navarrete's ability to adjust the fight that quick and actually make the fight a lot more favorable in his control, because he could have easily got stopped. He could have easily got blown out by Liam Wilson, but that wasn't to be that wasn't to be the case. I think Navarrete, he definitely made those world championship level adjustments to get the victory, regardless of what people say about the 4th round knockdown. And I mean, I will be the person to say, yeah, that was a long count, and the referee should have easily told him, okay, get your mouthpiece and start fighting. And I think that was just simply due to the inability of the responsibility of the referee to actually tell Navarrete, hey, look, if you do this again, then we're going to take away a point or do something in which we'll give you a fair warning. And then, that could be a disqualification. But, I mean, anything happens like that, in any world title fight. So, I mean, if anything, that's just the referee's fault for really not doing his job, and like he wasn't really being hyperactive on the situation. Because I guarantee you, if it happened to Liam Wilson, that same that same way, then people would be saying to Liam Wilson, about the same thing. Oh, you had like a really really long count and whatnot. So either way, like let the fans just need to speak up more when they see stuff like that. But as far as Navarette's performance, I would definitely give it a really good solid B minus or B, because he really should have just used his jab. He was hurting Liam Wilson without the jab, and he was doing such a great job to make the fight very competitive off of his end, and he wasn't doing anything to the level of which you could say that he was really getting outboxed, because Liam, he wasn't able to get his jab going, because what Navarrete did, he took away what Liam was good at doing, which is usually pressing people to actually hurt them. And the thing about Liam is just that he's not experienced in his caliber as a fighter to even try to press you. If anything, he fights just like Luke Campbell, but he's just a very orthodox, Australian, European-based fighter. But on top of that, Liam Wilson, he doesn't have heart. That's another thing too. If I was in his shoes, I would seriously fight to like my last breath. But you had all the opportunity to close up the show against Navarrete, and he didn't do that come round 4. And I mean, shout out to Barry Hunter, but I just think with a fighter of this caliber that does have skill, but he's very inexperienced, and he didn't see the opportunity that was put in front of him when he had Navarrete on skates in the 4th round, and then also leading into other rounds as well. He didn't do that. Like, you just literally let Navarrete come out of his way to just beat you up late game, and that's what makes Navarrete a very dangerous guy. Like, you really think that you're going to do this to Navarrete? Because let that be Gervonta Tank Davis or Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney, they would have got Navarrete out of there. But the problem with that is that they would have seen the opportunity to hurt Navarrete and take him out, versus with Liam, he did not do that. And for Liam, credit to him, he came all the way from Australia to train down in Baltimore, Maryland, to get that working with Gervonta Davis's camp, with Barry Hunter, Coach Boog, and all the other good coaches down there. So I will give Liam his credit, but I think what you need to work on next fight is that you have to work on your heart, bro. You have to work on the heart, and you have to work on closing out the show when you see a fighter hurt. Because Liam, people say that he hits, but I don't think he has all that power. And I mean, even with like all of his knockouts, I guarantee you most of them are referee stoppages, to which I don't count that as like a knockout, but he does crack, but he doesn't crack till at the highest supreme maximum. So the thing with Liam is that you just have to get back to the drawing board. Just keep working on your skills. I think 130 right now, it will become like another lightweight division, fire division, but it's still in a boot camp division. 130 is still developing. It still has a lot of great talent coming from 126 and a lot of unknown talent coming into 130. So I think Liam, he'll be fine, but it's just going to be really difficult for him to try to make that like adjustment for him to close up the show, because him doing that against any other guy that you see here, Henry Moncho LeBron, you see maybe Hector Garcia, those guys will never give you the opportunity to hurt them, and for you to have all that time for you to not figure out how to close up the show when you hurt them. And those guys can hit way harder than Navarrete. But I think Navarrete, he's a live dog, man, and he just blew his opportunity. You can't take down like a champion if you don't have heart and you don't have determination to win. So Navarrete, congratulations. Hopefully Liam, he can get back into the mix. I think he can very well fight a lot of good competition that you see on the board here. I think right now, 130 is pretty much a good division right now, and I won't be surprised if Liam probably ends up fighting maybe William Foster the third, or maybe Yakubov, or shit. He'll probably fight Pablo Vicente. I don't see why you can't fight him. Nobody's not talking about him. He's a pretty decent fighter. I mean, hey, even fight Andres Cortez, go after him. But yeah, like I wouldn't even say Luis Melendez. Yeah, Luis would definitely stop him, but yeah, 130 is completely stacked. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of good guys that no one doesn't talk about. Albert Bell, he's a monster. Like, I mean, yeah, 130 is completely stacked. So until then, I mean, Liam, you just have to come back to the States and definitely get more training in. I think what the problem was just that he probably just came over here, with like a really short term mindset to think that all the work that he put in, was going to help him out. And the problem is just that he doesn't have that garnered experience to be in the field of a world title fight. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Liam's going to do. Because if he just tries to just say, "Oh well, I got stopped and I'm just going to take like a whole year off," then I don't think that's a smart idea. I think at least take 6 to 8 months off, and then be right back into it. I don't see why that's why that's not like a plausible idea. But I mean, taking like a whole year off, like I mean, I understand like to other fighters, premises. They say taking like a year off after being stopped badly is a good idea, because you don't want to get back into the ring 3 months later, or 6 to 8 months later, or 6 to 9 months later. So it's better to just take like a year off, get better, and then you'll just be back on track. But I mean, it just depends on how bad you want it to bounce back, because it's like time will not be on your side as you get older. But I think either way, Liam, he has a pretty decent, outing at 130. But I never thought of him to be like the goods anyway. He got blasted, and I actually had Navarrete beating him, late game anyway. Like I was predicting like the fight to be like a knockout by at least round 8, but surprisingly, it was coming to round 9. So yeah, either way, congratulations to Navarrete, good performance. So on to the next one.